afternoon everyone. I'm Surbhi Sardana and I will be taking the weekly current affairs for international relations and culture for the past 1 week, that is from August 18 to August 24. We'll see what are the important topics that we've seen in current affairs for the past 1 week. So welcome and just send me a message in the chat box if you are live so that I know that the voice and the video both are clear to you. So ऑल राइट, सो द इंडेक्स फॉर टुडे, हम आज कौन से टॉपिक्स पढ़ने वाले हैं वो देखते हैं एक बारी. So the first topic is from mapping point of view. There is a region called Nagorno-Karabakh region. We'll see where it is located and इसका dispute किस regarding है. The second is about United Nations and its reforms. The third is Navaros Festival of Parsis and the Unesco list of intangible cultural heritage. The fourth one is hunger stones and the fifth one is Mithila Makhana, which has got geographical indication tag recently. So before moving further, seize the mains, which is coordinated with this initiative. This is an answer writing practice initiative which is run by our academy to help you practice answer writing for mains and get more and more marks by regular practice. So the question for today is, UN or United Nations may face oblivion without reforms to make it relevant. Comment, answer in 250 words. ये क्वेश्चन हमारी वेबसाइट पर अपलोडेड है. दिस क्वेश्चन इज अपलोडेड ऑन आवर वेबसाइट विच इज rajIASacademy.com. यू कैन गो टू द वेबसाइट, विजिट द वेबसाइट, क्लिक ऑन द क्वेश्चन एंड कमेंट सेक्शन में आप अपने आंसर्स शेयर कर सकते हैं. And the topic regarding this question, United Nations and its reforms, we'll be discussing today. So based on the information that you get today, you can write answers, send them to us and we'll respond with our feedback. So the first topic for today is the Nagorno-Karabakh dispute. Nagorno-Karabakh एक disputed territory है Azerbaijan और Armenia की. It is a disputed territory of Azerbaijan and Armenia. Let's see where both of these countries are located. So here, starting from India, moving on from Pakistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan to Caspian Sea. This thing in white, this lake in white is your Caspian Sea. It hasn't been marked here, but this boundary in white is your Caspian Sea. And Caspian Sea के left side पर है, in red you have Armenia and in yellow you have Azerbaijan. So we'll zoom this part of the map and we'll see what is the dispute. A lot of times in match the following answers, या अगर आप स्टेट सिविल सर्विसेज के लिए बैठने वाले हैं, बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस आ जाते हैं जहाँ पे आपको लोकेशन बेस्ड आंसर्स देने होते हैं. सो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So you have Azerbaijan here, this side you have the Caspian Sea and you have Armenia here. See, both of these countries, they were part of erstwhile Soviet Union. दोनों countries Soviet Union का part थी and एक disputed territory है जो कि geographically, this territory is geographically located in Azerbaijan, but Armenia has claims over it because people residing in this area, in this Nagorno-Karabakh region, they say that we are ethnic people, हमारी जो ethnic majority है and we belong to Armenia. We have relations with Armenia. So let's see, let's look at this deeply. So here you have Armenia in grey color. This in yellow color, everything that you see in yellow is your Azerbaijan. This is the disputed territory in orange. And these brown areas are again the disputed regions, regions of this area. बहुत सारी wars हो चुकी हैं. 3 wars have taken place between these two countries. These two countries are not very rich, so they, you know, bring back their forces. They take back their forces because they cannot afford war with each other for a very long time. But again, disputes have come out in this area. So both Armenia and Azerbaijan were parts of Soviet Union. Nagorno-Karabakh region, basically it is rich in natural resources, especially gold and copper. So these are very expensive resources. And if you know that these Central Asian countries, they mostly depend on natural resources for their economy, चाहे वो oil हो, natural gas हो, so they depend on basic minerals which are found. So Nagorno-Karabakh region is of prime importance for both of the countries, though it is geographically located in Azerbaijan, but ये खुद को एक independent country मानते हैं, so protest होते रहते हैं from time to time. They consider themselves an independent country which is not being recognized by United Nations or any other fora, but protests keep on erupting from time to time, and those protests, they are supported by Armenia, because Armenia wants this area to separate because culturally both of them are similar, and they want this area to separate or to gel up with Armenia. So, what is the origin of the conflict? See, in 1920, when both Azerbaijan and Armenia joined Soviet Union, सोवियत यूनियन जब दोनों कंट्रीज ने ज्वाइन किया था, तो उस टाइम पर नागार्नो काराबाख रीजनल पार्लियामेंट ऑफिशियली वोटेड टू बिकम अ पार्ट ऑफ आर्मेनिया इन 1980 व्हेन सोवियत यूनियन वाज ब्रेकिंग डाउन. जब सोवियत यूनियन वीक पड़ा, तो इस रीजन में वोटिंग हुई, एंड दीज पीपल दे वांटेड टू गो to Armenia. They wanted to be a part of Armenia, which was not liked by obviously Azerbaijan, because no country wants to lose its land. कोई भी country अपना area छोटा नहीं करना चाहती. So many wars have occurred, disputes happen from time to time, a lot of people lose their lives. So internationally, this area has been under focus. If you see this in any of the questions in state civil services or UPSC, next time you should be able to answer this. Especially check the location of Caspian Sea here and the location of both these countries. Also, you don't have to make notes because the PDF for this entire lecture will be available on our Telegram channel soon after this lecture is completed. Now, the next topic is about United Nations reforms. So, if you go to Google News and you type UN reforms there, you will see these headlines from 2 days ago. Our Minister of Defense Minister has recently said that UN may face oblivion without reforms to make it relevant. So UN will lose its relevance if it does not bring in reforms in its structure. This is the statement of our Defense Minister, and taking from this statement is the question that we have framed for Seize the Mains. I am taking you back there. So UN may face oblivion without reforms to make it relevant. You have to comment on this. So after this discussion, share your answers with us, and the answer writing discussion for this question will happen tomorrow at 9 PM on our channel rajaiasacademy.com. So a lot of newspapers covered this. Business Standard covered this, Deccan Herald, The Quint, all of them covered this. In fact, there was a statement by Russian ministers also that Africa has no representation in the Security Council of United Nations. So first of all, let's see what United Nations is. We'll discuss the General Assembly of United Nations and Security Council, which are the most important organs. Then we'll move on to discuss this issue. So General Assembly. Just like you have parliament in India, जैसे इंडिया का पार्लियामेंट होता है, लोकसभा है, राज्यसभा है, यूनाइटेड नेशंस का एक पार्लियामेंट है, and that is the General Assembly. It is loosely called the Parliament of United Nations. So 1945 में World War II के बाद, in 1945 after World War II, it was seen that a lot of violence and chaos is there around the world. So most of the countries, they came together in this to make this international institution, and they decided from now on we'll resolve all conflicts through discussions and deliberations, and General Assembly will be the forum. General Assembly वो area होगा जहाँ पर हम सारी countries मिलके बैठेंगी. Leaders from all the countries will sit together and discuss and deliberate on important issues. We'll try to avoid war. We'll try to have equal representation for all the countries. We'll try to establish a peaceful global order. So at that time, 5 permanent members were decided for the Security Council. United Nations का एक part है. It is one of the main organs. It's called the Security Council. So United Nations has 6 main organs. 6 main organs means जो कामकाज संभालते हैं United Nations का. Most important are the General Assembly and Security Council. The other ones are ECOSOC, Economic and Social Council. The next one is Trusteeship Council. Then we have International Court of Justice, inter-country में जो भी disputes होते हैं वो check in करता है. And then we have the UN Secretariat. If you want to know about all the United Nations agencies in detail, on our channel there is a playlist called Prelim Sprint. In Prelim Sprint, we have covered all the organs and specialized agencies of United Nations in detail and the reports published by them. So you can refer to that playlist after this. So talking about General Assembly, So General Assembly has representation from all the countries. जितनी भी countries all over the world हैं जो कि United Nations में मानती हैं वो United Nations General Assembly का part है. So if any thing has to be passed in General Assembly, it needs a 2/3 majority. So when 2/3 of the countries agree to some bill or some convention, then it is passed. So it can be loosely called the Parliament of United Nations. Some decisions like budget or admission of new members in the General Assembly and peace and security are taken by 2/3 majority. Other decisions require only a simple majority. So जैसे Indian Parliament काम करता है वैसे ही United Nations General Assembly भी काम करती है. The second one is United Nations Security Council, and this is the point of contention here. Security Council जब बना था 1945 में after World War II. So it is one of the strongest organizations of the world working under United Nations. So it has 15 members in total. 15 members total हैं. Out of these 15, 5 are permanent and 10 keep on changing. 10 members ऐसे होते हैं जो कि 2 साल के लिए members बनते हैं, उसके बाद उनकी जगह कोई और ले लेता है. And 5 members ऐसे हैं, 5 members are such which are permanent. They do not lose their seat any time. Who are these 5 members? These 5 members are the nations which were most powerful after World War II, जो कि actually winning side पे थी. World War II जो जीते थे उन वो 5 permanent members बने थे, and these members are US, Russia, China, France and United Kingdom. So now, and these elected members which are elected from time to time for a 2-year period, India has been the member of Security Council recently. So now 77 years have passed. UN को बने हुए 77 साल हो चुके हैं. 77 years have passed and still this structure has not changed. World War II happened, 5 permanent members were there. They have got veto powers also. If some country wants to pass a bill or a resolution, then these countries, these 5 member countries have the power to veto it. अगर एक भी country मना कर देती है, even if one country out of 5 permanent members refuses that resolution, then that resolution dies and it cannot be passed. So that is a bias. In countries के पास बहुत सारी powers हैं. So now what other countries are claiming that now we are not British colonies. For example, India was a British colony in around 1945. We were not an independent state. But now we are independent. Our socio-economic conditions have got better. We represent 1/6 population of the world. So if we do not have a seat in, if we do not have a permanent seat in Security Council, how can we feel secure and how can we feel enough powerful to make decisions on such a global forum? So Indian Defence Minister and many representatives to United Nations from India, they have said from time to time that United Nations need to reform, especially the Security Council structure. जो structure of Security Council है, ये जो permanent members हैं, ये बढ़ने चाहिए because 77 years have passed and now we are not living in times of World War II. Whatever were the conditions that time, the conditions now, economic, geographical, everything has changed. So it is high time that United Nations also changes its structure. Now, what is the reason for demanding permanent member status? Because first of all, we want veto power. That power is very strong. It will increase our prestige and it will make our decision making part strong. If has a seat and if we have a permanent seat in Security Council, then we can have strong role in decision making. Many a times it has been seen that we wanted a resolution to be passed in the Security Council, but it was vetoed by China because China always had a tussle with India. So multiple times it has happened. So we want to avoid that. Now what are the challenges? Permanent seats क्यों नहीं बढ़ाई जा रही हैं Security Council की? Structure क्यों नहीं change किया जा रहा है? First of all, major powers who already have a permanent seat, they do not want to give up on their power. In tune with time, ignores the emerging geopolitical realities, economic and technological progress that has happened since 1945. There is a small organization called the Coffee Club. Coffee Club basically almost 40 countries की grouping है जो कि कहते हैं कि Security Council में permanent membership नहीं बढ़नी चाहिए. These countries do not want permanent membership to change in the Security Council because they are afraid that if some other country gets a permanent seat, then that country will try to harm them. For example, Pakistan. If India gets a permanent seat in Security Council, then some decisions or some interest of Pakistan might get hurt. So Pakistan is one of the most important members of Coffee Club. The other members are Italy, Spain, Australia, Canada, South Korea, Argentina, and Pakistan that we have discussed. So these countries do not want any change in Security Council, but developing countries, especially big countries like India and Japan and South America and Brazil, they are demanding the G4 nations. G4 nations are the ones. These are the 4 nations which want permanent seat in Security Council. Now, moving on, there have been some views that have been put up by our defense minister and our representatives, that why this is an urgent need. So now if you look at the 5 permanent members of Security Council, US, UK, China, Russia, none of them, एक भी member Africa से नहीं है. And from time to time United Nations does pass a lot of resolutions. बहुत सारे ऐसे decisions होते हैं United Nations के जो कि अफ्रीका के लिए लिए जाते हैं. Many decisions are taken for Africa, but African continent, entire continent of Africa doesn't have even one permanent member in the Security Council. So this needs to change. Otherwise, the defense minister has warned and many other leaders have warned that United Nations will be replaced by some other organization. For example, you see India, we are a part of BRICS, we are a part of G20 nations, G77, we are a part of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And these organizations promote more equitable partnership. बहुत equal partnership ये organizations promote करती हैं. They have equal voting powers. They do not give veto powers to any of the members. So just for an example, why would you go to a meeting if you know that what you are saying will not be heard or decision will not be taken on that? So similarly, it happens at the United Nations Security Council also. Many countries feel left out and they're participating in multilateral or regional groupings. और बहुत सारी groupings हैं जिनमें वो countries participate कर रही हैं. And seeing the current Russia-Ukraine war, United Nations has not been able to do much with regards to this war. It has not been able to stop this war. उसका जो mandate है United Nations का वो पूरा नहीं कर पाए हैं. So seeing all these things, they are urging United Nations to transform, to change with the needs of time. Otherwise, it will lose relevance and it will be replaced by some other organization. So this was the issue. Now these 2 topics were from international relations. We'll move towards history and culture now. Before that, just send me a thumbs up if there are no doubts from your side. And if there are any questions, just let me know in the chat section. Yes, Rohit will cover the Unesco intangible sites in a while. Okay, Dipali. So let's move ahead. Now we'll be discussing Navaros Festival. So Navaros Festival is New Year of Parsis. यहाँ से जो related हैं, आपने 2 चीजें discuss, आपके लिए 2 चीजें important है. First of all, equinox. What is equinox and why is it culturally important? Why is it important from geographical or seasonal point of view? Secondly, what is the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage and how many cultural heritage are part of that list from India? So this is the Navaros Festival. It is a festival of Parsis. This is the picture from the celebration. It was recently celebrated on August 16. So now we'll discuss about the equinox. Equinox basically ऐसे 2 दिन होते हैं. It happens twice in an year. These are 2 days when 12 hours daylight is there and 12 hours darkness is there in all parts of the earth. So this happens twice in an year. The first one is around 21st March and the second one is around 23rd September. So if you're watching from India, you might know that after 21st March, spring begins. So if spring is beginning in northern hemisphere after 21st March, so the equinox in March is known as vernal equinox, and the equinox in September, after which autumn begins in India, that is known as autumnal equinox. So since equinoxes result into change of seasons, many cultures take equinox as starting of a new year, because earlier जो ancient societies होती थी वो mostly agriculture पे depend करती थी अपनी आमदनी के लिए. Ancient societies were dependent mostly on agriculture for their livelihood. So they regarded the cycles of sun and how the movement of sun is there as very holy, and they made their calendars around it. So for Parsis, New Year begins around in March. March में एक न्यू ईयर शुरू हो जाता है. फॉर हिंदूज ऑल्सो वी बिगिन आवर न्यू ईयर अराउंड मार्च ओनली, अराउंड दिस इक्विनॉक्स. सो equinoxes dictate when to plant or harvest crops. In Japan also, Japan celebrates equinoxes as a day to remember ancestors, and equinoxes are a public holiday in Japan. So there is a temple called Angkor Wat in Cambodia. So on equinoxes, the sun rises directly above the roof of this temple. Temple से directly sun दिखता है on just above the central temple. So this was the relevance of equinox. Now let's study a little bit about Navaros. First of all, it is Parsi New Year. It is celebrated at the time of vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere. So I just told you that vernal equinox happens around March. March में होता है vernal equinox. So why is Navaros celebrated in India in August? Why are Parsis celebrating it right now? So basically, Parsis in India, they follow a different kind of calendar. It is known as the Shahanshahi calendar, which doesn't account for leap years. After every 4 years, every 4th year in our calendar is leap year. So these Indian Parsis follow an entirely different kind of calendar, due to which their new year, which should be falling basically on vernal equinox, falls around mid of August. So the Persian king Jamshed is credited with having created this particular calendar. Navroz is on the list of UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity in India. What is this list? Let's find out. This is a list. When you download the PDF, you can check this out. This is New Year of other religions. Now, what is UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage? See, UNESCO recognizes, UNESCO को पता है कि कुछ ऐसे cultural heritage हैं जिनको आप touch नहीं कर सकते, they are intangible. But कुछ ऐसे cultures हैं, कुछ ऐसी traditions हैं जिनको protect करने की ज़रूरत है. Some traditions have to be protected with time and forever. So UNESCO lists down such cultural heritages or traditions, festivals, for example, Navroz is a festival, or New Year. So ऐसी चीज़ों की list बना दी जाती है, so that more attention is given, more funding is given to safeguard them, to protect them, and more recognition is given so that they're celebrated. So there are two kinds of lists which UNESCO comes out with. The first one is the longer list, and it gives the practices and expressions that help demonstrate the diversity of heritage and raise awareness about its importance. The second and shorter list is about the endangered cultures and traditions. So this is the website of UNESCO, and let's see what are the important intangible cultural heritages from India which are a part of this list. So if I zoom in here, in 2021, Durga Puja in Kolkata was included on this list. In 2017, we had Kumbh Mela included. In 2016, Navroz was included, which we are just discussing, and yoga was included. In 2016, Navroz was included and yoga was included. Now let's see, in 2014, we had this traditional brass and copper craft utensil making among the Thateras of Jandiala Guru, Punjab in India. So these are brass and copper utensils, these were included. 2013, we had Sankirtana. UPSC has asked a question in mains already in 2017 around Sankirtana. Manipur mein ritual singing hoti hai. In 2012, we had this Buddhist chanting of Ladakh area. And in 2012 and in 2010, we had Chao dance, Kalbelia folk dance of Rajasthan, Chao dance of West Bengal and Odisha, and Mudiyettu, ritual theatre and dance drama of Kerala. And the last ones, 2009 mein Ramman, which is religious festival and theatre of Garhwal Himalayas. And 2008, these were Kutiyattam, that is Sanskrit theatre, tradition of Vedic chanting of India, and Ram Leela. So this is the list of intangible heritage of UNESCO, which are the items which are included from India. download the PDF, remember this list for attempting the questions in your prelims examination. Now, before moving on to the next topic of hunger stones, just let me know if there are any doubts with regards to this topic. Rohit, we just discussed it. In 2021, we had Durga Puja in Kolkata. In 2021, this was included. Okay, so the next topic is about hunger stones. See, if you can see here, there is a river in this picture. And यहाँ पे बहुत सारे stones है. A lot of stones are here beside this river, and something is written on these stones in language, in some languages. So basically, Germany and European areas में, these are known as hunger stones. If water levels go beneath these stones, then the carvings of these stones become visible. अगर पानी का बहाव एक नदी में इसके लेवल से नीचे चला गया तो इस स्टोन्स पे जो भी मैसेज लिखा है वो दिखने लगेगा. So basically these are the stones which were carved in times of drought and famine by ancestors of Europeans. These messages were written to tell the people around that if you see these stones, means some famine is there or some drought is there. So these are very important from the cultural point of view, and these are known as hunger stones. Hunger represents what follows after a drought or famine. So there would be widespread hunger, that is their message, and carvings are the messages that are on these stones. So Europe is suffering from the worst drought ever. You know, the levels in Rhine river, they are going down due to climate change. Water levels of various rivers are going down, and hunger stones can be seen in many of the rivers. They serve as famine memorials and warnings, and were erected in Germany and in ethnic German settlement throughout Europe in the 15th to 19th century. So these are not very old, ancient stones nahi hai, mostly recent, and they act as a warning for water levels, so that people know that now it is time to conserve water, it is time to save food. So this is the purpose of these hunger stones. Now moving on to the last topic about today, which is about the Mithila Makhana. Mithila Makhana from Bihar. It has become the 5th product from Bihar to get the GI tag or the geographical indication tag. So these were all the newspapers which covered the news about Mithila Makhana. As you can see, Bihar's Mithila Makhana gets a GI tag. No more about this healthy ingredient consumed as a snack. So the botanical name, it is known as makhan or makhana in Mithila. Basically, GI tag जब किसी चीज़ को दे दिया जाता है, if something is given a geographical indication tag by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. If Ministry of Commerce and Industry is giving some kind of tag, अगर कोई Commerce and Industry Ministry tag दे रही है, तो इसका मतलब trade improve करने के लिए कुछ चीज़ की गई होगी. So geographical indication tag is used by the Indian government, by this ministry, to put a brand label on some products. There are some products which act as geographical indication, जो कि इंडिया में किसी एक पर्टिकुलर जगह ही बनते होंगे या पाए जाते होंगे. So they can be agricultural products, they can be, creative handicrafts can be there. So if these things get GI tag, it gets the brand name of Government of India. This is the GI tag. This is the symbol for GI tag, and it is represented like this. So it gets the tag name, the symbol name of Government of India, and जो कि economic perspective से उस चीज़ को बहुत फ़ायदा होता है, because when that thing goes in the market, people can actually see that this quality has been guaranteed by Government of India. इसको GI tag मिला हुआ है, so we can safely purchase this product, especially on this website, on the website of Commerce and Industry. It will be highlighted what are the properties of this product. For example, about Mithila Makhana, the nutrient quantity will be given. Now it is in news, we are discussing that how it is important for health. There is cultural significance also in the Maithili region of Bihar of this particular food product. So it gets popular and more people buy it. So basically the farmers who are growing it, they benefit out of it, and even the culture is preserved for a very long time. So GI tag is the abbreviation for geographical indication tags in India. It came into force with from 15 September 2003. This was the act in 1999 or 2003 में आया था. The first product to get GI tag was Darjeeling tea. So Darjeeling, as the name indicates, the tea that is grown in Darjeeling in Assam. So that is a geographical name mostly would be attached. Sometimes जगह का नाम attached नहीं होता है, but GI tag की आप description में जाएं तो आपको जगह का नाम भी मिल जाएगा. So Darjeeling tea was the first product to get it. It is a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities or a reputation that are due to that origin. So Mithila is a place in Bihar and this particular thing has got GI tag. There are other products also which have got GI tag from Bihar. So whenever you are appearing for any exam, especially in the interview stage, just note down the GI tags from your state, whatever they are. And for prelims examination of UPSC and state civil services, note down the recent GI tags, at least of the past 1 to 2 years, which are the products which have got GI tags. There are many contentious products also. For example, Rasgulla. It was contentious for a very long time between West Bengal and Odisha that where has it originated. So Odisha was demanding one GI tag and West Bengal was demanding GI tag for Rasgulla for its own state, because ट्रेड बढ़ जाता है, उस चीज की इकोनॉमिकल वैल्यू बढ़ जाती है. सो नाउ इट्स अप टू यू टू चेक दैट वेयर इज द इशू लाइंग. So yes, this is the end of our discussion. If there are any issues, if there are any doubts, just let me know. Or we'll call it a day. And thank you for being a part of weekly current affairs discussion. Tomorrow we'll see you with another subject, with another teacher. Stay tuned and keep working hard.